Hey guys, TrickShot726 here. I get a lot of questions from you guys talking about how do I do what I do. And I've answered them a few times here and there, but I figured the easiest way to communicate with all of you is to just make a couple videos about it. So I'm going to be making a 6-part mini-series talking about how to improve your stop-motion animated videos. This community has grown a ton in the 9 years that I've been making animation, and I figured it's time I gave back a little bit and helped foster a little bit more growth. So today we're going to be talking about how to get started with animation and what tools and equipment you can use to help out and make things a little bit easier for you. Before we get into it, I do want to make it clear that stop motion requires a lot of patience. It's a long process and it's not for everyone, and that's okay. But those who can master it find it really rewarding. So these are the basics on how to start stop motion animation. First, you're going to want a camera of some kind, whether it's your phone or a small digital camera or something fancy like a DSLR. Any of those work, just something to capture photos with. In my videos right now, I'm currently using my camera on my Samsung Galaxy S10. But for the majority of my videos, I use like a cheap Nikon Coolpix camera. You can usually get them for about like $100, and they work pretty well. Those I used all the way up until like 2019, 2020. Whenever I did do an upgrade of a camera, you could kind of tell the nicer the camera is, the better your photos are going to look. You're obviously going to want something that can zoom a lot just so you can get close to your figures' faces. Since they are very small, you're going to want something that can get close to something small. Makes sense. If you can afford it, I would highly suggest getting a DSLR camera because of the many different lenses it has and all the different animating software you can use with it, like a Dragon Frame. But since those are really expensive, and so is Dragon Frame as well, I would not recommend purchasing them right away. If you're just trying it out as a hobby, I'd wait to get the more expensive, high quality stuff until you know this is something you want to do long term. For just starting out, using whatever you have is probably the best bet. Stop motion animation is different from most other mediums because you need to take like 100 photos of your subject and then speed up all those pictures to give the illusion of movement. So instead of like drawing or creating a model and moving it frame by frame, you're doing that in real life. So it's kind of like a flip book drawings we did as kids, or like if you're at a Captain Underpants, like those. So because of this, you need some sort of special software to help you convert all those pictures into a video. If you're using your phone, there's like a ton of cheap free apps that you can download on iOS or Android. Stop Motion Studio, PicPack, iMovie are all ones I've either used myself or seen other people use as well. Stop Motion Studio Pro can also be paired with your computer if you have the app on both devices, which can be pretty useful. That way you can film on your camera and then move it over to your computer to edit it. That'll make it a lot easier for you. For a long time, I've used like the free Windows Movie Maker app on my computer to animate all my pictures and convert it into a video file. That was nice because it let you change the frame rate picture by picture. So I could put them all at anywhere from like 27 seconds, which is ridiculous now, to like 0.03 seconds per frame. So that one's cool. It did not like doing lots of pictures at a time, so I had to do it in a lot of small parts. And also that app is no longer supported by Windows. So if you don't have it already downloaded, it's going to be really hard to get. And it's also not the best. Like, it's easy to use. It's just not the best software available. So that's what I've used for the most part, but currently I'm using Stop Motion Studio Pro, and that's been a little bit more of a learning curve, just because I was used to using Windows for so long, but it's definitely a lot better. I can already tell the improvement in the quality of the videos that I'm doing. All these programs that I've mentioned so far are going to have their own pros and cons, but I would suggest trying some of them out and seeing which one works best for you. There's tons of tutorials and reviews for all of them, so you've got a lot of options there. When you are filming, it's important to have a tripod to stabilize your camera. Personally, I've got like 3 or 4 different sizes of tripods to help me capture the different angles I want to for a video. But even using just one is going to go a long way. I prefer to have smaller ones that I can move around the desk that are around like 6 inches tall. So it's about the head height for any of the figures. You can usually find like those small ones for like $10-15 at like Target or something like that. So they're pretty cheap as well. I do have a couple big ones as well for whenever I want to get like really high angles. I don't use them a lot, but it's nice to have. You're also going to want to have a controlled light source so you aren't reliant on the sun, which will clearly be moving around in your videos since, the sun moves throughout the day and it's going to take you a while. Yellow lights are best suited to simulate sunlight. Well, white lights are better for indoor lighting or moonlight, so that's just something to keep in mind on what you're doing. There are countless things you can do with lighting to alter or improve your videos, so I would suggest experimenting with it and researching it more thoroughly if that's something you're interested in. You can also get like the color changing LED lights. Those are incredibly helpful just because you have so many options with those. You can just make it white light, you can make it anything Roy G. Biv. You just have a lot of options with that, so you can do more aesthetic lighting, I guess you could call it, or like different stylized lighting. I think that's the better word for it. So I definitely look at investing in some of those. They're also pretty cheap now. You can get them for, I want to say $10-15 as well. As you are filming, you're going to notice that your characters are going to fall down a lot. This can make it difficult to get them back in place correctly and can disrupt the flow of your filming and stuff like that. There's a number of tools you can use to combat this trick. Sticky tack, like on the bottom of their feet, fishing wire, or in flight stands or something like that. Or even just using your hands to hold them are all like common things that people do to help stabilize them so they don't fall down as much. If your stabilizing tools are visible within the shot, you can leave them in the photo. But doing so will take away from some of the immersion and remind your audience this isn't real. So whatever tools you end up using, I would recommend trying to Photoshop them out of the frame if possible. That being said, Photoshop is incredibly helpful at adding or removing things from your photos. You'll have the greatest success with it if you can also take a photo of the scene without any of the subjects in it. That way you have just a clean slate background. This will allow you to easily use the stamp tool to cover up the flight stands or the lasso tool to copy paste the clean background over any unwanted parts of your photos. The catch is you're gonna have to do that almost identically for every single frame of the shot. Otherwise it's gonna look like the background is spazzing out and it'll pull people's eyes away from the action and just be like, what is going on with the background? What is this? It takes a while to do that, but I do think it pays off a lot. Stop motion takes a while, as I said before. Some of the stop motion apps I previously talked about have ways of adding audio and effects to your projects while you're putting it together. Personally, I find it easier to take all the photos, turn that into a video file, and then do any other visual effects or audio effects that I want to do later, where I can focus on that instead of having to do all 3 steps at the same time. While there are also a number of video editing programs you can download on your phone or your computer, personally I use Adobe Premiere just because of its versatility. I really like the Adobe suite in general, so that's really useful to use. In that phase, once I have the video file from all the photos compiled together, that's when I'll add the visual effects and sound effects and background music to improve the video. A great place to get all those video and audio effects is ProductionCrate.com. I've been using Production Crate as a tool to improve my videos for years now, and I've actually partnered with them to help share this great resource with you guys. They have thousands of visual and audio effects that you guys can download, and you can either download 5 a day for free, or you can sign up for their pro membership and be able to download as much content as you like, including all of the exclusive pro membership content. So there's a ton of stuff on there. I definitely suggest checking it out. It is incredibly helpful. The link is in the description below, and if you sign up for their membership, it'll help support this channel and allow me to continue making awesome videos for you guys to enjoy. So that is all the basic equipment that you guys are going to need to start animating in stop motion. Of course, everyone's resources and needs are going to be different, so find out where it works best for you. Don't be discouraged if you aren't able to get the fanciest things. Some of the best creativity comes from improvising, so don't be afraid to think outside the box. I hope all these tips and tricks help you on your journey to becoming a great stop motion animator. Be on the lookout for the future episodes in this series as well. In the meantime, check out some of my videos and help support this channel. Look forward to seeing you guys in the future. All right, bye!